Hello everyone. Before we get started, if you enjoyed this video once it's done, please like and share. Also, if you enjoy the content that I'm putting out, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you cut on all notification bells so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. Thank you. What will you guys do in my situation? Let's say if you meet someone on a dating app and everything is going well, they didn't catfish you, the person looks exactly like they looked on the dating app, but then you discover a really, really horrendous secret that's nightmare fueling, and it causes you not to want to be around them at all. But what do you do if they're obsessed with you and they can't leave you alone? Well, maybe you can take my advice, or maybe my advice was not a good one. I'll let you be the judge of this. So my name is Arnold, and this happened to me recently. This happened to me about 2 days ago. I was on a dating app looking for a woman that I can have a little fun with, take her out on a date, and just be around someone. I matched with a woman named Angelica. When I looked at her, she really looked attractive. She looked magnificent. It was almost like I was staring at an angel. I know it's weird how I described it, but her beauty just seemed so unreal. And I liked her personality and what she was about. She was a very beautiful petite woman. She had brown curly hair. She wore black lipstick, but it made her look sexy. I'm not gonna lie. She matched up with me, and we began to talk. We had a lot of things in common, and for about the next couple of weeks, we FaceTimed one another, so I automatically knew she was a real person, and we enjoyed each other's company on the phone. That's when I decided to make the first move. I asked her out on a date, and I knew the perfect restaurant to take her to. I took her to this Italian restaurant that's really famous for making the greatest Italian food. And plus, it was downtown, and I figured that she probably would like to stroll downtown as well. She lived in the same city as me, so that's made this a lot more easier. Me and her decided to pick the date, and afterwards I made reservations for that restaurant. That evening, which was 2 days ago, I was waiting on Angelica, and I finally saw her. She walked out of a Uber and she came towards the table that I had made reservations for outside. The waiter came and gave me a bottle of wine, and I made sure I poured a glass for me and a glass for my date. She smiled with those pearly, bright teeth. It was so white that it can blind anyone walking past. She got to her table. I got up. I pulled her chair. She sat down, and she scooted her chair in. I sat back down. We both smiled. "Well, we're finally doing this," Angelica said with a smile on her face. "Yes, we are. We're doing this," I responded. Afterwards, me and Angelica celebrated the date night, and everything went well. So well. And then afterwards, she actually decided to come back to my house. I didn't pressure her. She was more than happy to, leave the date and go back home, but she didn't want the night to be over with. So I decided to let her come back to my apartment, and I think that was the mistake that I made. And I didn't notice it, but something sinister was at play here, and you'll see what I mean. When me and Angelica got back into my apartment, you can guess what we done. Afterwards, we sat back and we watched some Netflix. We were watching a documentary about a murder case, but that's really irrelevant to what happened next afterwards. While we were sitting there watching the show, Angelica got up suddenly and she told me, I'm so sorry, Arnold. If you mind, I'm gonna go in the bathroom. I think the alcohol that we had may have had a little bit too much. feel like it's coming back up. Oh, yeah, go. Yeah, no problem. She leaped off the bed and ran into the bathroom. And I sat there and watched Netflix for a few minutes longer. I noticed that it was awfully quiet in the bathroom. I thought I would hear her puking up her guts, but it was quiet. But I figured that maybe she was feeling queasy and maybe she wanted to stay near the commode, so I didn't pay no mind. I continued to watch television, and then for some reason, I fell off to sleep. I was very tired. I slept for about, I want to say, an hour and a half. And then I woke up. The TV was still on. Netflix was actually paused. There was that little sign that said, "Are you still watching?" I hit continued, and I looked on the other side of my bed, but I didn't see Angelica. I was worried, so I got up and I went towards the bathroom, and I knocked on the door. And I asked her, Angelica, are you okay? Have you been in the bathroom this long? But I was met with silence. I knocked again, but there was no response. I looked around, and I saw her stuff was still there. Her stuff was on my desk, so she had to be in here. I went to the kitchen to see if she was there. Maybe she needed something to drink, but she wasn't. I went into my living room to see if she was there also, and she wasn't there as well. But I stopped midway as I was about to go in my room, and I noticed that the front door was open. I thought that was odd because Angelica couldn't have just left. She had her belongings in my room. But I left it alone. Maybe I figured that she was going to come right back. Maybe she needed to get something very quickly. So I closed my door, but I left it unlocked, and I sat in the living room and just waited on her. I ended up dozing off, and I don't know how long I was asleep, but when I woke up, it was still dark outside. It was around 6 o'clock in the morning. I remember hearing thunder off in the distance, so I assumed that we were going to get some really nasty weather. I got up and I made my way towards my room, and I stopped right there, frozen, dead in my tracks, upon what I saw in the room. I cut on the light because I thought maybe I was going crazy, and I wasn't. And what I saw right now, 2 days later, really made me paranoid, and I am so scared. So scared that currently right now I'm moving out. I saw on the ceiling Angelica. She was looking at me. I was trying to process, to wrap my head around what I saw that was humanly impossible. She was on the ceiling like some bug. She turned her head around 360 and looked at me and had this really unsettling, creepy, horrifying, soul-snatching smile. I can see red goo dripping down from her mouth. Her eyes did not look the same. They looked like they belonged to someone different. And then she jumped down from the ceiling and then started to growl. But the thing about that is that growl did not sound like her. It sounded like someone else. Someone else was inside of her. I couldn't explain it. Then she started to come at me, walking like some spider or some animal, running real fast. I freaked out. And then I was asking her, "Angelica, what the hell is wrong with you? Stop! Stop it!" But she didn't stop. She just laughed and started crawling her way rapidly towards me. And then I tripped and she jumped on me like some wild animal. And then she was trying to bite at my face. I pushed her back. I don't know what got into her. Once I pushed her back, she fell over. And then she got back up and she started popping her neck. And the way she was popping it, it looked all wrong. It looked like it was a creature inside of her. I couldn't really explain it. Then she looked at me. She was making her way towards me again. And then before she was about to attack me, she suddenly stopped and looked towards the front door. And then she crawled out of my house. and then ran down the street, disappearing into the woods that was by my place. After that, I immediately picked up my stuff and I got out of there. I didn't want to encounter her again. Right now, as I'm planning on moving, I'm in a hotel right now, planning on moving out of my place. I could not stay there. The way that Angelica acted, it was like a completely different person compared to when we were on a date. We were eating. She seemed like a sweet, kind-hearted woman. I don't know who this woman was and what she was, because the way she acted and the way she moved almost seemed like she wasn't even human. It was like something or someone was possessing her body. I already got me another house. I just gotta move my stuff in, but right now, I want to be very careful about how I move, because for the last 24 hours, I could have sworn I've seen her out of the corner of my vision. Wherever she is, I don't want her to figure out where I live and where my new place is at.